You're listening to Chasing Prophecy Radio, where we discuss anything and everything beyond the scope of normal. On UPRN Talk Radio FM 107.7 in New Orleans and FM 105.3 in Mississippi.
If it's unexplainable, we're talking about it.
Whether you're a believer or a skeptic,
we cover everything where the unknown becomes the known.
And now, here are your hosts, Jenny Nicasio and Tom Callway.
Good evening and welcome to Chasing Prophecy on 107.7 in New Orleans and 105.3 in Mississippi. I'm Jenny Nicasio along with my fabulous co-host, Tom Callway. We're broadcasting on a lot of, I felt like Donald Trump for a second. A lot. Oh my God. Yeah. Platforms, including Roku, sometimes. I'm teasing.
That's
YouTube,
bad. Why'd you do that? That's
YouTube
mean.
And Facebook. And we were doing it on TikTok for a while. I have enough followers, but I just don't know if I want to do it anymore on TikTok. But we are broadcasting everywhere. And so if you are in the chat, which I don't see anybody in the chat right now, please like it and share it. So, Tom, while we wait for some people to come in, how are you?
I'm doing well. You know, we're navigating the weather. You know, you have one end of it. I guess I have the other end of it.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's always pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, everything's good over here. We're just chilling on this side of PA. Nothing too crazy going on. Well, that I think. Yeah. I mean, we'll get into it here later, but kind of a lot of paranormal news happened over the last month or so.
Yeah, that's what they say. I've read all the reports, and it's a lot of paranormal news.
So one thing I wanted to ask you, have you ever seen the documentary Hellier? No.
No, I don't think I did.
Okay, so it's free if you have Prime. It's these like people who made a documentary about synchronicities, and basically a lot of crazy stuff happened. They get an email, and what it did, it was reminded me of what you were talking about. They got an email from this guy in West Virginia or Appalachia in Hellier, and he basically wanted these paranormal researchers to come out to his house because he's having all kinds of like goblin, cave creature type UFO. He's not sure what it is that keep harassing him and his property. And they make a documentary and go out and film it. And what they find out there is pretty strange. You know what I mean? Because it starts unraveling and unraveling and unraveling. And I completely forgot about it until you had mentioned about Appalachia and the whispers and, and the cave system that runs all up and down there. And the missing persons, missing 411 are a part of some of them, not all of them. But
you're a little edgy. Hey, Tom, excuse me for a minute. You're picking up a lot of like you sound like you're breaking up.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if do you hear that, Nicole?
Yeah, I was hearing that too. It sounds like it might be either a mic thing or like a network thing, to be honest.
It's like a wire. I didn't know. I just wanted to make sure. It was getting really bad there for a second.
Is it better now?
Let me see.
Better now?
We'll deal with it. We'll deal with it. If it gets any better, I'll just knock you off.
Yeah.
Okay. Might be is there storms now over there?
No, it shouldn't be.
Okay, you sound a little bit better now. Talk.
Okay. I was fiddling with the XLR here.
Yeah, whatever you just did again, it moved. Okay. No, we'll just deal with it. Go ahead.
It's still going on?
Yeah, it stopped for a second. It's like you fiddled with something and made it come back. You know, that's technology for you. Yeah. It's always something. Need to put a few in. Yeah, it sounds good. circle. Oh, Lordy. No, we can't talk. No, we can't hear you. Why don't you just log off and come back on? We'll talk girl talk. So how do you like being an intern?
I mean, it's fun. I get to play tech support, apparently. So.
Yeah. But what are your hopes? What year are you in?
Well, I'm going to be. This is my last year. Technically 5th year, but yeah.
Wow. Are you getting a master's?
No, this is my undergrad.
Okay. What are your hopes and dreams?
I have not figured that out yet. I just like audio stuff, so.
Okay. Yeah, there's always a need for good producers. You might want to check out your local news station.
Yeah, definitely. I know. I think like ESPN has like headquarters near me, so I've looked into that.
Go.
There's stuff around.
Where are you from?
I'm from and I live in Connecticut, so.
Oh, nice, Connecticut.
Yeah.
So you go to school. Where do you go? You go at Penn State?
University of Hartford, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's nice. Connecticut's beautiful. I like it. Yeah. This Tom's missing up. There's always a problem here.
Yep.
Here he comes.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
Better?
Okay. We're good now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. I turned the mic off when I was fiddling underneath, but all good now. I just have to get my videos back up. But did you want me to restart about what I was telling you about Hellier?
Yeah, restart, because I was interrupted too because I called my brother about something and I forgot to turn my phone off and I heard him ringing.
Okay. So it's this documentary about this investigative, well, it's a couple really, and they have a couple friends with them. And they get an email from this guy in West Virginia, and he's talking about the Appalachian Mountains, and his property has an entrance, or near his property has a cave entrance, right? And he has like footprints of like three-toed footprints of like goblins and underground like creatures, things like that. So they go there. They meet with the local townspeople, try to figure out. None of them heard of this guy, and what they uncovered there is just as strange in a different way than what the actual story that brought them there was. It's a really fascinating one, but it reminded me of how we were talking last week about Appalachia and, whispers and all kinds of things like that. It was really interesting. So it's a docu-series. It's not a documentary. So it's like 40 minutes for like 5 episodes, but it's something. It's pretty good. It gets into John Keel. They have Art Bells. They talk about him a little bit. They talk about Mothman because obviously West Virginia, but definitely, some free fun to watch. See,
Yeah. You gotta have, what is it called again? Because I want to watch it.
Hellier. Hellier.
Hellier.
Okay. It's on Prime. There's 2 seasons. Start with the first one because there's a lot of weird stuff that happens when they go down there. I won't spoil it for you, but the case goes cold. The guy goes MIA like the day that they go down there. But other people have stories of these little goblin things that live in the cave system. And it reminded me of just like the kind of people we would associate with going out hunting stories and things like that, of hearing creepy things out in the woods. And,
there's a lot of whispers out there. A lot of people could say that they're whispers, and it's really spooky. And there's a lot of TikTok has a lot of videos on the Appalachians and how it's people hear like children and women and just really strange stuff.
Well, a lot of them talk about like their old hunting cabins, or they'll be up on a hunting stand, right? And I've heard at least 3 different stories of people saying that they see these like rods with wings flying through the woods.
Just like Mothman.
Kind of. But you know how if you have a Ring cam or a Nest cam or something like that, and there's some bug flying through the screen, you'll see like a rounded with wings. That's what they are saying they see out there. That they're spirits of the forest that, for whatever reason, show themselves.
I forgot. I was watching this show on Skinwalkers, and they told it what it was, and I can't remember. Damn. Shoot. They found, they're spirits.
Mm-hmm.
Indian spirits.
Yes.
Is that what you heard?
For Skinwalker?
Skinwalker.
Yeah. Skinwalkers are Indian spirits that are kind of, you summon them to wish ill upon somebody else.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you don't like anybody, you go to Skinwalker.
Yeah, that's how I learned it. It could be different, but how I learned it was like shaman were the ones who summoned them to go after another tribe leader, another warrior, something like that over there back in the day. And then that's the difference between that and a Wendigo, because they kind of look similar. But
they're a witch. It was a Navajo witch.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
There you go. But some like to lump them together, but they're actually different. Did you move into a corner? Because that looks really good.
What, me?
Yeah. Your wall.
Oh, my wall. Yeah, I'm in a corner.
Yeah, it looks good.
This is the corner.
I like it. Look at how flexible that brick is.
Oh, yeah. It is very flexible.
It is, yeah.
It's a real brick.
Yeah, it's real brick. Remember Malden, that scientist, thought I had brick behind me?
Yes.
So
we've had a number of strange people in this world nowadays.
Yeah.
Okay.
Last week.
Oh, you know what? She wouldn't let up. And she probably is on here now because she's going to probably say something. I mean, in her bio, she said that she was a former defense worker. And then in her video, she said, "Oh, no, I'm not. I am a medical assistant." I gave her the credit. I said she was a dental hygienist,
yeah.
which is more than she just went on and on.
Well, I had to, I talked to the interns and let them know that not every time is the best, and we have to prepare for some unprofessional.
Oh no, we've had some doozies. We had a guy on that was something he believed that he could communicate with Bigfoot, and he came on we're not supposed to give the stream until right then, because we've had some problems with people who come in the backstage and they can see us. And I had rollers in my hair, and then I had suspenders. And one of my suspenders, which I do all the time for some reason, I only do one suspender. And so I have one hanging. So I get a phone call right afterwards the next day from a woman. And she said, I'm not going to say who he is because I don't want to embarrass him. But she said, I'll say Joe. Joe was on your show last night, and he said that you flashed him your panties.
Oh.
I'm like, what? Are you out of your mind? First of all, the guy was he looked like, apparently she was my age, but he looked like he was really old. And I just said, oh my God, are you out of your mind? Why would I flash him my panties? First of all, I'm on the, behind backstage. I mean, you get all kinds of shit. Apparently he was trying to make her jealous. I go, oh my God. So he was being really, going on our Facebook page saying stuff. I thought I had to block him.
Yeah. But think of how athletic that would have to be. You're on a swivel chair. You got to jump up, pull him down. Show the panties, pull them back up, sit down, all while being on camera.
This is just so off topic, but I have had the worst luck with men. I mean, I don't know why. Why am I cursed? I should do a podcast on that. One morning, it was 2 a.m. in the morning, and I get a phone call from this woman. She goes, "Why are you texting my boyfriend?" I go, "What?"
She's
not texting your boyfriend. Well, I had met some guy on Tinder, I think it was, and apparently he had a girlfriend. He had a girlfriend. Why do men do that? Why? You got a girlfriend? Break up with her if you want to meet somebody else. And I thought we were going to go out
vines
to
in
dinner.
the jungle. They're going to swing on one until they find another one.
I don't know. I had the worst luck. Well, she kept on calling me, and finally I called him. I was so bad that I had to call the police to come to my house and file a police report.
Yeah.
To get both of them so they could stay away from me. I said, what kind of freak? And a woman, I'm sorry, if I had a boyfriend, and I would not lower myself and do that. So how did this get on paranormal? I'll never know. Okay, go ahead. Let's start the show, right? Okay, good morning. Good evening, and welcome to Chasing
this week is paranormal boyfriends. How weird. Weird.
Well, alien. My boyfriend was an alien. I probably should write a book about that.
If I had a girlfriend or a wife that was an alien for real,
I would love it.
I would totally. I know. You want to talk about clingy? I would be. No, I'm going on your ship. I'm staying up there. I'm not coming anywhere. I'm not coming back home to my planet.
Seriously, I would love it. I totally would love it.
Anyway.
I wish it was something like that. I wish they would just come down and say, "Hey, baby, you want to go out?" I said, "Sure."
Yeah, like seriously.
I've
heard of my boyfriend or girlfriend's at a different school. Imagine if me saying my boyfriend or girlfriend's at a different planet. You're going to be looked at so odd. It's going to be so odd.
Well,
Louisiana, what do you think? Gulf Point, what do you think?
Well, if you're into kind of that stuff, I have a book called From the Sky, and it is about a young woman who falls in love with an alien.
A true professional.
Yeah.
So I think we've bantered long enough. Let's let our intern introduce herself. A musician, quite talented musician, Jenny. Has an album now. So Nicole, why don't you
have an album?
Yeah, thank you.
Why don't you type some of it? Do you have it? You want to put it on the air? Go for it. Do you have anything?
I'm okay. I'd have to find it. It's hidden among files right now.
We could have put you on the air. Before you're done, you're going to do
absolutely. Yeah, before this is over, you got to put some songs on.
Yeah.
And you know what? We'll use your songs to play people that are too weird off.
Oh, definitely. Like I did the last time I put the music on, getting rid of them. I did that so many times in the past, and I forgot that I did it. And then whenever I want to get the person off and they won't shut up, excuse the language, but I would play some music, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No, it's smart. They do it at the award ceremonies.
Yeah, that's what I do. Put the music on and start playing. See. Tells them to go goodbye. No, I love our guests. So I'm not going to, I love them. But if there is a particular one that just doesn't talk, I do let them know it's time to take a nice.
It's our time, not your time.
Escort. Yeah.
But Nicole, yes, introduce yourself to the audience. This is it's live on the radio, 105.3 Gulf Coast and 107.7 New Orleans. And also this will live forever on Spotify as a part of our podcast. So introduce yourself, and then let's kick off these topics.
Yes. Hello, I'm Nicole. I'm an intern on Chasing Prophecy, if you haven't caught that bit. So yeah, I kind of collected a bunch of different news that's been going on the past couple of weeks. So starting off, this one I thought was really interesting because it kind of bounces off of when Emma was on. Was it 2 weeks ago?
2 or 3 weeks ago.
2 or 3 weeks ago, and she was going over the Conjuring. There's further developments in terms of the Conjuring house, the actual one. Which is the real name is the Old Arnold Estate. And this is in Rhode Island. And one of their employees was fired, and the owner claimed it was because of accusations from the beyond. As in,
oh my God.
The 19th century owner of the estate, whose name was John Arnold, he came to this boss, her name is Jacqueline Nunez, and he told her that her employee, Brian Dansereau, had been stealing money. About $3,000 over the course of 2 months. And she received this because she's a medium or a channel. And apparently he came to her and told her the story, and then he got fired because of it. And that is the excuse that she straight up gave him. Which he also didn't believe her on that, because he said that he had positive paranormal experiences in the house. There was at one point he was carrying boxes and a door opened for him. So he didn't believe her that the spirits were actually telling her that he was stealing. Also because he claimed that he didn't steal. So
Yeah, that was my first question, was when you said he, said, I've had positive paranormal experiences in the house. I would say, yeah, but did he do it or not?
Yeah. I don't think that
seems
he's come out
odd.
as I don't think he would admit to stealing, especially not that amount of money anyway. But yeah, who knows?
Well, is Connecticut an at-will state? Can they just fire for any reason?
I think, Rhode Island, I believe, is.
Is?
I believe it is an at-will state because Nunes, she did say like, oh, it's at-will employment, so he's terminated. Like, that's that.
Well, yeah, he can't do much about that then, but definitely interesting that they went that route. I wonder what his next employer would say if they contacted HR. And, hey, so yeah, he was let go because a ghost snitched on him for stealing money.
So how do you know the ghost really didn't snitch on him?
Well, that's the question, isn't it?
Did she even notice? Did she notice that there was money gone, or was this just a medium who it came to me and I'm clairaudient and I heard that it was?
Yeah. Seriously.
So, do you know if she noticed there was money gone or no?
Not that I saw, to be honest. I think she literally just told him like over text. It was just like, "Oh, the ghost told me," and never provided any evidence or anything. Like, it's one thing if she could pull like security camera footage and be like, "He told me you did it at this time on this day," but I didn't hear about anything like that, like any hard evidence.
And can he take it to court? Because goes to court to get his job back.
Yeah, slander, libel.
Maybe.
He could, if you're gonna fire me.
Can you take a ghost to court?
No.
Has anyone done that before?
So actually, here's this funny thing. Back at a place of employment, I talked to a lawyer. We were just before an actual thing. We were just joking back and forth, and he's like, "The way the law is written in America, anybody can sue anybody for anything. It doesn't mean you're going to win, but you can." And he said he's heard of people suing someone for being taller than him, older than him. He said, I've known people locally who have sued for that. And so if you can sue somebody because they're older than you, I'm pretty sure you can take a ghost to court.
I guess you could, yeah. But I mean, then that begs the question of like, what happens if you win? Like, I guess
people do it all the time in life insurance lawsuits. I should have gotten this. You're kind of taking a ghost to court.
Yeah, but like a ghost doesn't have an insurance like company behind it, is my question. Like, you're gonna like chase down the family members?
I mean, maybe if you get the judgment right, you can do that. Chase down the family members. Now, if one of my relatives got sued after they died and I had to pay for it, I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
I would take them right back to court.
Back to court for the ghostly.
But there's the Conjuring House, man. It's never short of amusement, is it?
Mm-mm.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's kind of scary. What was the haunted house in Connecticut? That's not the Conjuring.
That, I believe, is the Warren Museum.
Yes.
Yeah, because the Warrens, I believe, were based out of Connecticut. And I know this because I tried to like go to the museum and it was closed at one point. I think it was in like 2020. Because I guess like it fell to the sun and then the sun like wasn't keeping up the museum or something. So I don't know if it's changed since then,
if it's the Warrens, I thought she only had a daughter. So you mean maybe it was a daughter?
Maybe. I can't remember. It was some family member.
I don't think she had a son. Unless, it was a daughter.
Could be right. It was some relative, and I guess they weren't doing their due diligence. So
I think they have a grandson because I met.
It might have been
a grandson, maybe.
Yeah, I met him, and he's one of those business entrepreneurs that is coaching, paranormal coaching, like how to be a better investigator. I knew you were gonna get that.
Well, I don't think her daughter wanted to get into it. But that was maybe the grandson did.
It could have been the grandson, but I don't blame. If those were my parents, you have to think the generation right below, they might be just done with it. They're sick of it.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I don't think. I remember I went on a couple ghost investigation with Sean, and I didn't care for it because I always felt that I was going to have a ghost piggyback on me. And could you imagine? And they just didn't deal with ghosts. They dealt with demonic presences.
Yeah, they tended to stick towards the dark stuff, not really the residual hauntings or the happy hauntings or, hey, I have footsteps or nice sounds in my house and all of that. But no, you're exactly right. They went more to the demonic because a lot of times they would write those stories and sell them and make a good amount of money on them. There's a lot with the Warrens, man. It's almost 50-50 with good and bad things at this point.
Did you ever hear of the Brownsville demon house in Pittsburgh?
No, I haven't. What is that?
You'll have to look it up. We had the guy who owned the house, and there was an exorcism there, and there was a demonic presence there. He made it into a bread and breakfast. No, think about it. Brownsville Road Demon. Look it up.
Yeah. Okay.
And he made a bed and breakfast out of this, and I'm like, who in their right mind would want to go and sleep over? He was doing it as a wedding venue.
Well,
it's like, why would you do that to yourself? Why would you start your marriage out in a demonic house that had a demon in it?
Yeah. So this is actually Catholic vetted exorcism type stuff.
Yeah. I actually am a Facebook friend.
Demon of Brownsville Road.
Yes. And it's in Pittsburgh area. And he was on the show and he was talking about it. And I'm like, and he says, oh yeah, we made it into a venue, a bed and breakfast, and we're doing weddings. And I'm like, I was just like, are you kidding me? I want to know if anybody actually had their wedding there, because I'm going to try to contact him.
You have to look at that. You know what? Instagram would be good. Instagram people for weddings always tag their venues. So that would be a good place to look. But for anyone listening, I'll give a quick synopsis of this demon of Brownsville Road. In March of 1792, a mother and her 3 young children were killed by marauding Native Americans in the vicinity of Fort Pitt during the Northwest Indian War. This was done to discourage continued pioneer settlement in western Pennsylvania and Ohio. This book maintains that the massacre occurred on the ground where the house was built and that the 4 individuals are buried in the front yard. The premise for the demonic infestation is that the evil spirit that precipitated the vicious killing of these innocents remained on the grounds and eventually inhabited the house that would be built there. An immigrant laborer was also put a curse on the house while it was under construction out of jealousy for its wealthy owner and his beautiful wife. The book additionally states that a local doctor would perform many illegal abortions in the house when its owners were in need of money to maintain their servants and upper-class lifestyle. There were no records of first-hand accounts of this illegal activity, but an investigative newspaper article did identify such a doctor did exist and that the local lore supported the claim that he performed many abortions. It is presented that the demonic spirit was primarily focused on hurting and killing young children. In December 1988, Bob and Lisa Cranmer and their 4 children moved into the house, and this began a long string of events that eventually led to it being classified a demonic entity by the Catholic Church and expelled from their house in 2006 by local priests. Wow.
Yeah. And you'd want to have your wedding there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think it's bizarre. And I try to keep myself composed when I was doing the interview.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't, like, his son, he had a son, and he was being tortured. Why would you he stayed in the house after the exorcism? He got divorced, but his son stayed in the house. Why would you do that?
a lot of times they get too focused on the exorcism, right? They're too focused on this exorcism. They're too focused on getting this out. They don't realize that if a demon is around, it has others around with it. And it could very well, trick you into feeling comfort. It's making you feel false things. We all know that that's what it does. Otherwise, nobody would ever get possessed. So I can see why that they just move their target from one to the other.
I just couldn't believe that he would stay in the house, keep his children in the house when this was all going on, that you wouldn't leave like all the other, houses like Conjuring. They left in Connecticut. They left. But this guy decided to stay and make it a bed and breakfast.
Sometimes, I mean, the evil just changed from hurting the children to greed. It just changed form, but it's still there.
Yeah, because he wants to make money off of it now.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. He wants to make money off of it and thinks that I have a piece of local history. But unfortunately, history can go both ways. It can be good history or it can be bad history. And he's trying to make his bad history profitable. You want to do ghost tours? You want to do haunted events? Have at it. I don't care. But if you're trying to trick people into having their wedding a very happy and elated time.
Yeah, I would never do that. Start my new life with my husband in a house that, but it's clean now. We got the demon out. How do you know he's still not there?
Yeah, what are you doing? Waxing the floor? What do you mean it's out now? It's clean now. It's good.
It's clean now. We had the priest come in and do the exorcism. I don't know.
Well, maybe there is a certain demographic that wants to do that. The more power to them.
My brother has a venue. I say, hey, was there demons in there? We did have a ghost investigation there, and there was somebody. Sean said he saw men's boots, but nothing ever happened. But
most of the time, ghosts, and I'll be very honest with everybody listening. I love ghost investigations, paranormal investigations. I love every single one I've been on. I found different pieces of things that I can't explain, but let's be honest. 90% of the time is just walking around and sweating. That's it. So, I want to be completely honest. You really, if you think it's going to be the TV show, it's not. It's not. So, you live for an EVP. You live for a knock or a sound of when nobody's in another room. You live for that. But no, you're exactly right, Jenny, because the ones that I've been into, we've done the whole holding, everybody hold hands in a circle, palms and thumbs facing to the left, and you say the, non-attachment little, it's not even a prayer, but it's kind of like a prayer. You know what I mean? You do all of that. And then you get to, then you start, and that's supposed to make you repel an attachment and things like that. But you never know. We're not even dealing with science. So who's to say, energy likes to match. And if you go in there not feeling well, if you go in there mad or sad, it might try to harmonize with you.
Oh, yeah.
And next thing you know, your lights are flickering at home and you don't know why.
I know, but mine is going to be flickering soon because we got some really bad storms coming through. You can see how dark it is outside, but I don't hear. I'm in the basement, but I have the block windows. It's all dark. It's spooky out there. So if I go out, you know where I'm at.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll kick it. Nicole, what's next?
Yeah. So I've got another one. This is the video that I think that you have, Tom.
Okay.
There was an alien appearance in Las Vegas where you can supposedly see at least two beings using a cloaking device. And they had I believe he was a crime scene investigator, reacting to it and explaining what he's seeing. So definitely take a look at that.
Let's just do that.
Can you make it bigger?
I applied the same principles that I would apply to any kind of a homicide investigation, right?
Yes.
And you have to look at the totality of the evidence. And you're going to have debunkers that'll be like, well, but the shadow, it could be this, that, or the other. No, it cannot. And I want to open this up. Everything that we've done, I'm opening it up for peer review. Okay. Anybody out there with a degree in photography, anybody out there who's a qualified expert witness in video analysis like I am, anybody out there with a master's degree or higher in education, video analysis, video editing, photography, film development, computer animation, and so on and so forth, bring it on. Look at what I've put on my YouTube channel. Look at what Jim and I are going to talk about today. And I'm willing to hear what professionals in my field have to say about this and open it up. Wrong, I'll admit it, but I think that the evidence at this particular time with what we've seen here is proof. A couple things that these entities, both in the background and in the foreground behind the fence, are real. They're there. This is not fake. This is not a fraud. I guarantee it.
Can you hear me?
All right. So, yeah, that was hard. I put the link in the comments for everyone. It was kind of hard to hear and see. But it did look distorted, right? Nicole, that's what the story was? Okay. So when you have that, and we all know about the Vegas story by now. I personally think it's very believable. See, I still trust cops, and when they're talking to each other and you hear over the, their mics and everything about how they don't know what's going on and what they see. I saw a blurred video that sort of looks like the cloaking blanket that we have here. I'm sure you guys have seen videos of that one too, where it makes things disappear. It certainly looked just like a different version of that. And, I really do think that those people on their property next to their tractors had an 8 to 10 foot tall alien.
No, I believe there was an alien there.
So, Nicole, what do you think?
See, that's the thing. Like, I'd have to really go back and watch the video, because I feel like I don't know if you guys have seen AI videos lately, but it's become very easy to fake even video evidence nowadays. So I'm always the kind of person, I would love to believe something, but unless I get really hard evidence, then I kind of tend to be still skeptical of it.
And I get that. You know what I mean? I totally get that. You're coming up from a different time than what I did and what Jenny did. And, the part that made me most believe those wasn't the video of things. It was the dispatcher to the police officer. It was the 911 call to that. It was when the police got there and the body cam. It wasn't so much what was on video, but it was the interaction that they were having. Yes, I am weary that this video came out many months later. There's no way to fact check it. It originally came from the body cam. You can tell that from the video. You know what I mean? But I understand the hesitation when that portion comes out a lot later. And he could say fact, which was on the video. He said, fact check me, I'm opening this up for discussion. Anybody can come and get this. Anybody can come and take to try to disprove it. If you are one page ahead in a chapter book, you seem like an expert. You know what I mean? He just might have something that's a little bit better than anybody else. Right. So, I do hear that, but I do believe that, this blue collar family, I mean, they had a construction business or something. They have, tractors in their yard. I do think they were visited by something. So what do we have next, Nicole? Let's keep moving on this.
Yeah, so the next one I've got here, so this was kind of a follow-up to something that happened in 1973. There was a man from Pensacola who he was driving along Interstate 10 on October 17th, 1973, and he was abducted by clawed aliens. He described them as there being 6 of them, and they were short with claw-like arms and they allegedly abducted him. And there were a ton of other local and regional UFO reports that were recorded around that same time. But this was the one report that no one ever followed up on it. He was just kind of left with no answers. And then that same day, there was like hundreds of reports of flying saucers and UFOs from South Alabama through Northwest Florida, but those were all like investigated or like explained away as like the Air Force running drills, like planes, things like that. But then 6 days before, there was an experience that was similar to his that was experienced by two men who were fishing on the Pascagoula River. But then again, like this guy, it's been 50 years and he still has like zero, like there's been no follow-up on his case, even though other ones around that time were investigated.
What is going on? I swear there's a is there a demon
We're getting
here?
lit.
What is going on? Is there somebody else in here?
StreamYard's going off the rails here, everybody.
I don't know
It's
what's
certainly
going
not
on.
us.
It's like I think there's somebody else in the studio we don't know about.
So in reading about this one in Pensacola, Florida, smoke, there's fire, right? So if a bunch of other people in neighboring cities, neighboring states really have seen a lot of things, it definitely sounds like Kecksburg, where, people saw a bunch of different things from all over. It's not just one person saw one thing in the sky. So that lends credibility to it as well. But it also reminds me of the Hopkinsville case back in West Virginia with the goblins, when I read Little Green Men running all over the roof. In Hopkinsville, I believe, is one of the only times that people ever opened fire on, started shooting at aliens in this country that we know about. So it definitely, it rang a bell with that one that, okay, I hear Little Green Men. I hear putting the house under siege by running along the roof, trying to get into the building, all that kind of stuff. And it was around the same time, early 70s. And I think it was 60s for the Hopkinsville. Actually, it might be a little different, but yeah, they're going to, of course, explain all away from the Air Force, because the Air Force at that time just finished Project Blue Book. So they were done. You know what I mean? I don't care anymore about aliens. So everything is going to be, explained away. Which at that time, in order to understand the story back in that time, that's where everybody's mind was there are no UFOs. Blue Book didn't find anything. This is how it is from now on. Okay. So any kind of report that came out, I felt bad for, really. And look at the negligence on this one. Nobody followed up with him for 50 years. Yeah, of course not. Blue Book ended in 70. This is 73. Everything from then, for at least the foreseeable future, was, we don't care about it anymore.
Yep.
So let's get to the next one, because the next one's really, really odd.
Yeah. We are thinking of the same one, right? The McKamey Manor.
Yes,
Just making sure.
one.
Okay. Yeah. So if this one is pretty big news, I feel like most people have probably already heard this one, but if you haven't heard, the owner of McKamey Manor was charged with rape and attempted murder.
Oh, God.
Which, if you don't know what McKamey Manor is, that is a quote unquote extreme haunted house, and it's located in Tennessee. And basically, it's like your typical haunted house, but you have to sign a waiver to get in. And then you essentially get mentally and physically tortured for like the entire experience. They'll like electrocute you. They'll like cut off your hair, because people they think it's fun. I don't know.
They electrocute you and they cut your hair.
Yeah, they'll like almost drown you. Like there's a whole, you can see videos of people going through there.
And people pay to go in here.
Yeah, they pay to go in there. So it's like crazy stuff. And I'd already been hearing like from previous years that there were people, claiming that because it's supposed to be like if you ask an employee to stop the experience, like you want to back out, that they would let you out. And I'd heard of people like not being let out and they would just continue the haunted house.
Oh my God.
And then the manor is being investigated for potentially violating consumer protection laws by not letting people stop when they want to.
How much is it to go there?
That I don't know.
It's pretty expensive, I thought.
Yeah,
it was
I think
it's pay money to be tortured. That's just kind of creepy.
So, has anyone seen the Netflix or the Hulu special about this house?
No,
I
it's
haven't.
on
No.
Netflix.
So
It's
yeah,
Hulu, I
it's
think.
yeah. On if you go to their website, it has what episode what of this one show that it's featured in, and the people I've watched that episode, and the people in there find a sort of gratification in doing this. They think of it as trauma healing. They think of it as therapy almost, where they're pushed beyond their walls. I don't know. They're pushed beyond something, and they talk
That's so
about that.
messed up.
I know it is messed up, but where he was getting in trouble was this dude had this manor, and he actually went about it at one point went about it correctly and talked to the state attorney general or the district attorney and said, "Am I doing something illegal?" And they made a way for it to be legal by having the consent form, but also a safe word. So if you're telling me stop, I don't want to do this anymore, stop, they're going to keep going. But if you said your safe word, they were going to let you out because the DA said you are signing something voluntarily going in. Your safe word is the law pulling you out. So you need to know, it's on the consumer too. They need to know when, hey, if this is too much, you got to get out and not hold them accountable. Where they got into trouble was there was this woman which was in 2023 around Halloween, where she had claimed she's saying her safe word and they're not letting her out. Which now it becomes kidnapping at that point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and then I don't want to give it away. I won't give too much away, but he does videotape people in there. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about a different kind of gratification is probably going on there.
Yeah.
So the sexual assault, the rape, the attempted murder. I don't.
So that was actually somebody in there that was.
No,
so that was his girlfriend.
His girlfriend.
That was his girlfriend.
At home, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because he was originally.
Yeah.
He was
well, if she was in there, would have been. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. But yeah, he was arrested for the domestic assault charges against his girlfriend. And then following that arrest is when they found out that he was also raping and attempted to murder her. But I guess it also just begs the question of, like, if this is the kind of person running this business, who is he hiring also to, like, be the employees who are actually running it, like, day to day?
Hello, Rose. No, you're exactly right with that, because you need a certain type of person, right, to be a good employee, and that's what he wants. He wants probably clones of himself, running this place. But you're right. Where's the background check? Where's HR on this one? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe the other guy can look to work here that we heard in the other story. Who knows? But yeah, that so let me also, like, educate people a little bit about the crime here. They charged him with attempted murder, 2nd degree. They charged him with rape, and they charged him with sexual assault. The bond, I read this, the bond on this case was only $1,000. Those charges aren't sticking. It's a plea deal.
Crazy.
They're not putting somebody away for a long time and only making them pay $1,000 bond. It's just not happening. So I wonder, what that is. I wonder what it's going to end up being. And it's possible that they could all drop these charges down to lesser offenses. And sadly, somebody might not, get justice.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Tennessee, they were good for a while. Come on, Tim Burchett, what are you doing? All right, what's next?
So then my last story that I have here. So this was a Jersey Shore professor who she's currently seeking clues for alien life on the ocean floor, actually. So her name is Lauren Saylor, and she's a professor from Stockton University. And she's been looking for clues about alien life forms in the Atacama Trench, which is a deep ocean trench off the coast of Chile. And she's investigating these, like, deep parts of the ocean where the sun can't penetrate. specifically looking into the presence of like kind of hotspots of methane gas, which she calls methane seeps, because those can provide energy for deep sea life, which can exist down there. And the reason she's looking into this specifically in relation to aliens is because she is in the field of astrobiology, which is basically she's studying how life originated on Earth and how life could form in outer space and how those can be connected. And specifically, like, I don't know if you guys know anything about like ocean biology, but there's some freaky stuff down there and it could totally be related to freaky stuff up there. So
yeah, definitely. There's a lot of freaky stuff down there.
Mm-hmm. Jenny, you ever want to explore the ocean bottom?
No, it scares me.
Scares me too. You know what they say, that there's been more people in space than down at the bottom of the ocean.
No, that's probably because those creepy things up there, down there. I used to like when I was a kid, there was a show called Man from Atlantis, and I loved it.
It sounds like
I like mermaids and stuff like that. You never know; there might be some creepy stuff down there. And a lot of the UAPs, is that what they are? UAPs? Am I saying it right?
Yeah.
They said that they would go at extreme speed and go into the ocean, and then they never came back. So where did they go?
Yeah,
underground.
I love UAPs. I'm a big proponent of that. And if the method that they claim of travel down at the bottom is that they're not actually touching the water, they're having it go around it. You know what I mean? They're moving the water around it. They're actually not swimming, or like how our subs are in the water. So if you can move that around, you effectively get rid of all the pressure. And that's why we can't go down there. Just ask those people with the, PlayStation controller. They couldn't go down there.
No, that was ridiculous.
That was ridiculous. He built, it was one of those aluminum trash cans from Walmart.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Income poops.
I know. But he had a racket, though. What was it, $125,000 a ticket or so?
Yeah. But we're coming to the end of the show. And unfortunately, I wish we could stay with Nicole because I like her. I like her presentation. So she'll have to come back.
Yeah, absolutely. Nicole. Nicole, tell us your album name and where people can find it.
Yeah. So my full artist name is Nicole Costa. That's Costa. And my newest album, it's my fourth one actually, self-produced. It's called Demonology. No, it's not satanic. It's a metaphor. But yeah, it's out on everything: Spotify, Apple Music,
I'm gonna have to,
Amazon.
When we're done here, I'm gonna have to go check it out, Nicole Costa.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was great having everybody on tonight. Hey, Tom, you're gonna have to close the show because for some reason I don't know, somebody must have been in here. I don't know who it is, Demon or somebody else's. Maybe Michelle's in there playing a trick on me. I can't see any of the. I can't see the,
all right.
The brand and banner.
The side, yeah.
I can't see it.
All right, everyone. Well, I want to thank Nicole for coming on, and please check out Demonology. And
definitely.
Next time you're back on, download a few samples so we can play it on. Okay, Nicole?
Absolutely.
I'll try. Yeah. I'd have to censor myself. I have a bit of mouth on my music.
That's okay. Why you should hear mine?
Yeah. Then you'll fit right in with Chasing Prophecy. Right here on UPRN 105.3 in the Gulf Coast and 107.7 in New Orleans. We want to thank you all for listening. You have been following us. You've been listening to Chasing Prophecy Radio. And everybody stay weird, stay fun, and we'll see you next week.
Absolutely.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.